Hello, Mandy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You?
I'm well. We didn't have mic problems at all just a minute ago, did we? No,
I didn't.
No.
You may have.
I did. The one that records and does content for a living had the issue. Thank you again for agreeing to do this. I'm just going to ask a few questions, if that's all right, just to help with the review process. So, I moved you, October last year?
We moved October, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what made you choose myself over a traditional estate agent?
Because I hadn't moved in 24 years and my experiences of estate agents were not good from 24 years ago. And you were recommended to me by my mortgage lady.
This is very kind.
And then you came round for a chat and
The rest is history.
you just, made yourself comfortable in my house, which I like.
Yeah.
And you told me as it was, and I just knew you were the right person to help me.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. So another important question, I suppose, is how did you feel throughout the process?
Very comfortable, albeit incredibly nervous, because I really had no idea how it was going to go, whether we were going to sell. I'd already told you at the beginning, didn't I, that I was very, very anxious about it. But you just made me feel really calm about it, and it was just brilliant. Just brilliant.
I'm glad. I think everyone's stressed in some aspect of moving, regardless of what they may think or feel. I think there's always some worry, so it's nice that I could do that, to be honest.
You did, absolutely. I went to bed every night and I know I didn't have to worry because I knew you had my back. And that was really important for me.
Well, and that...
Because I was on my own as well.
Yeah.
Me and the boys were on our own, so I didn't have anybody else.
No, and that was it. That's important for me that I made you feel that way. That is the whole point. So thank you for that. What then was the biggest difference that you noticed with myself, my business, compared to the last time you moved and traditional agents and your dealings before?
Well, I didn't have to have my house clean and tidy for 3 months because everything was done in 2 days, and it was all sorted, and I could carry on living my life and the boys could live on their life in their home without having to worry that there'd be a phone call in half an hour to say, quick, we've got somebody coming round to view. That was one of the biggest things for me, is that we could carry on living while selling.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have found that beneficial, actually, because the whole, we've got a viewing tomorrow, or we've got a viewing in 2 days, or whatever, and also from a marketing perspective, as I mentioned to you, it doesn't actually generate any competition between buyers doing it that way.
No.
In terms of the marketing, what did you think of my marketing of the home?
I loved the way you made my house look. The videos were amazing. Luckily, we had a sunny day, didn't we, because it was August that we listed it, and all the photos and the videos were done in sunshine, which really helped my house because of the lovely garden. But you just, it was just how you made my house look like something that somebody else would want to live in. Even though I'd fallen out of love with my house, completely fallen out in love with it. When I saw it, I thought, oh, actually, that's quite a nice house.
Do you know, a weird aim of mine is to, when I send over the details to vendors, I really want them to turn around and say, well, I'd buy it. Yeah. That's technically how because that then means I've done the right job, I think.
I would have bought it, I think. If I hadn't known it, I would have bought it because it looked lovely.
Another thing that I think is probably an important part of what I do, and I'd like to ask you the question, is how did you find my communication throughout the process?
Spot on.
Yeah?
You answered every single call, every single text, morning, noon and night.
Yes, to which you told me off about a few times.
Many times. I didn't expect you to answer that message there. It was just done, so I knew I'd done it and you'd answer tomorrow, but you would always answer me. And sometimes you would know what was going to happen before I did, and you would let me know what was going to happen. Yeah. And that's really important too. You preempted what was going to happen, especially as I didn't know the process any longer. So you told me what was going to happen, and it did happen, and it was all good.
I think I tend to work on, if I'm going to go to someone with a problem, I need to go to them with a solution as well.
Absolutely.
And I think especially during the sales progression side of it, that's important, because if I just phoned you and went, hey, there's a problem. Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
And I go, okay, what are we going to do then? But you didn't do that. It was, don't worry, this is what's happened. This is how we deal with it and whatever. And we didn't have many problems anyway, did we?
No, we were quite lucky.
It was fairly simple and free, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good. I'm pleased. Yeah. So you never felt like you were left in the dark then?
God, no. No? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You were always there for me, even not to do with my selling, even buying my new house. you were there for me too, every inch of the way. And you weren't connected with that at all.
No, that's actually a good point, because I do that for pretty much everyone. But I found, especially recently, that doesn't seem to be the case with a lot of people out there. That I look at your move, I look at Mandy's move and the boys' move, not like, oh, it's Mandy's house I'm selling.
Yep.
So
it's people.
Yeah.
It's not just a home, it's people.
Yeah.
That's what you're selling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
And I wanted to make sure that you bought the home that was right for you and gave you the information.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased that helped, because that's another thing.
I mean, when I found the flat, obviously that was a little bit different, but you helped me on that too. It didn't work out. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But the next house that I found, which is an area you know well, you were there for me the afternoon I viewed it, and I told you about it, and you looked it up and you found out information for me, and you made me feel like, yes, I'm making the right choice on this one. But you weren't connected with that purchase. You weren't selling it or anything, but you still were there to help me.
Yeah, and I wanted to, and I think I took the call from you about that house as I was about 30 seconds walk away.
You were.
What was then the best part about selling your house with me?
Knowing that you cared about what you were doing. I wasn't just commission on completion. You cared about us. You were interested in me, the boys, Ted, my dog. You were interested in the whole thing, not just making money.
Yeah, I tried to make it human.
Absolutely.
That's the idea, because I think there's a lot of that's gone out in the industry.
That, to me, is, I think, one of the most important things, is that you're so personable, and everybody you meet is somebody you want to work with or be with. You know, it's, nothing seems to be, oh God, I don't want to be, oh God, it's her again, that kind of thing. You always wanted to be there and help, and that came across every single time. Well,
when people, and like yourself, ask me to help them move, it's the whole process. And then I think it's important to be there for everything. That's the whole point.
You were there even before the process started, because I had to go through lots of financial, legal things before I could even put the house on the market. So you'd been around a long time and there for advice and telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't do and what I needed to do. And then finally we got to that point where I made that phone call and I said, Ben, we need to list the house now.
Yeah.
Which was just amazing.
And you, I think, given it was a motive move for you, wasn't it? For sure. And I think that even that phone call of just telling me that you wanted to list the house would have probably been a big thing at the time.
Absolutely. I just couldn't believe that had finally, after all those years, had finally happened, and my life was going to start to, move forward in a really positive way.
Yeah.
And I knew you were the right person to do that for me. I knew that.
Well, I think you got what you deserved in the nicest way possible, didn't you?
I sold my own house, didn't I?
Yes, exactly.
Didn't I, Ben?
Yes, you did. You did do that viewing, that's true. So finally then, what would you say to someone thinking of selling their home that's trying to choose an estate agent?
Talk to people. You get a feel and a gut for somebody who's coming into your house to sell it. So if you're not sure if, whoever, A, B, C or avocado are the right people, get people in, talk to them, and you get a feeling, and you'll know instantly who is the right person to sell your house, without a doubt.
Thank you. And would you recommend me to anyone else?
You absolutely, I do.
I know you have.
I always will continue to do that, because it was such a positive experience for us.
Well, thank you, Mandy. That is very kind, and I'm pleased that I could have done the job for you.
Very welcome.
Thank you very much.